This is part of a series of 12 short audios in which I attempt to answer the 12 most common objections a person makes against becoming a Christian. Number 2, I'll become a Christian sometime, but not today. Now, you may think things like, at the moment I'm very busy, I've got a young family, or I'm getting married, I'm starting a new job, or I'm working on the house, or whatever. When things settle down, then I'll think about becoming a Christian. Now, in Luke chapter 12, Jesus tells the story of someone who kept delaying the moment of decision until it was actually too late. God said to him suddenly, "Thou fool, this very night your life will be required of you." You see, none of us can presume that we've got another day, not even another hour. I like that sign on t-shirts. Just do it. There's some great signs, great messages on t-shirts, and that's one of them. Just do it. That attitude works with so many things. My son and I work outside, and we found that it's a mistake to study the weather forecast too closely and to look or wait for the perfect day, because it never comes. There's always some reason for not starting that job or for not ordering the materials or whatever. Just do it works well for us. Now, here's the thing. We can't measure what is the perfect time for us to be saved. Neither can we measure what is the imperfect time, if there is such a thing. But God can. God is infinitely wise in understanding seasons. Seasons in our lives, in your life. Now, he says, is the season for your salvation. And he stirs your heart, but he never compels you. His stirring, is the kindest and most gracious invitation to join him. Are these seasons always present? Apparently not. Isaiah the prophet in chapter 55 verse 6 says, "Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near." Presumably then, sometimes he is not so near. It appears that God is not equally accessible at all times. Now, this is not because he withdraws or hides from us, or because he's judging us or is angry. No, he hasn't changed position, actually. It's we who have changed. God never changes, but we do. Today we may feel that we can pray to him, but tomorrow the feeling may totally change for one reason or another, and we don't want to pray, and we don't think he'll hear us anyway. We can all admit that there are times when we don't even want to find him. Now, that's a terrible place to be, and with some people it becomes their lifelong condition. They are closed, and we could say that God is not near, but the fault was theirs. They missed all their opportunities. God has ways of changing that. That's another story. It's a dangerous thing to think that opportunities will always be there. Pharaoh hardened his heart so many times that in the end God agreed with him, and God himself hardened Pharaoh's heart. But it began with Pharaoh. He probably thought that there would be endless opportunities, but the opportunities dried up. They ended. And it wasn't because God had changed. It was because Pharaoh himself had hardened himself, and we can be in that same place. Now, the fact that you're listening to this message indicates that this is one of those times when God is near, and it's time to call on him. Don't presume that the opportunity to do so will always be present. The fact that you're bothering to listen to this message should tell you two things. One, you want to find God. And two, he must be near, because he's put that desire in your heart. You didn't put it there, he did. And the scripture says, call on him while he is near. Or as the sign says, just do it. Today is a good day to get saved. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 2 says, I tell you, now is the time of God's favour. Now is the day of salvation. Now let me leave you with a scene out of one of my favourite films, The Guns of Navarone. Anthony Quinn is struggling in deep water at the end of the film. He's trying to get into the rescue boat and be taken to safety, but he starts to sink beneath the waves. Gregory Peck, on the boat, reaches towards the sinking man with a long boat hook, but the man is drowning. I can't, he gasps in desperation. Then Peck shouts a command that is almost impatient. Take it, man! And it shakes Quinn out of his indecision. He grabs the pole and is pulled to safety. Please don't leave it too late. Today, if you hear his voice, harden not your heart.